They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but for millions of people over 60, it might also be the most dangerous. Why? Because many seniors are unknowingly starting their mornings with foods that spike blood sugar, clog arteries, and silently damage the brain's lifeline, its blood supply. While strokes often feel sudden and unpredictable, the groundwork is usually laid over years of small daily habits that seem harmless, especially at the breakfast table. As we age, our bodies become more vulnerable to certain risk factors. The arteries lose flexibility, the heart works harder, and blood pressure naturally begins to rise. Add to that a lifetime of processed foods, hidden sugars, and chemical additives, and you've got the perfect conditions for a stroke to strike without warning. What makes it even worse is how these triggers disguise themselves as normal parts of a balanced breakfast: cereals, juices, toast, and flavored yogurts. According to the CDC, high blood pressure remains the single leading cause of stroke among adults over 60. But what few people realize is how certain common foods are quietly fueling that pressure every morning. A sweet muffin here, a slice of bacon there, it adds up. Slowly, these foods harden arteries, increase inflammation, and disrupt the delicate balance of cholesterol and insulin in your bloodstream, making the brain more vulnerable to a life-altering clot or rupture. Emotionally, the impact is devastating. A stroke can steal speech, movement, memory, even identity. It turns independence into dependence overnight. And yet, the danger often goes unnoticed until it's too late. That's what makes this conversation urgent. If you're over 60 or love someone who is, every choice on your breakfast plate matters. Not in a fear-driven way, but in a smart, preventative way. Knowledge is the first step toward protection. Think of your arteries like fragile pipes. What you pour into them each day, especially in the morning, can either help them stay smooth and open, or make them rough, narrow, and prone to bursting. Most people don't connect what AS on their fork with what could happen in their brain, but the science is clear. Diet is one of the strongest predictors of stroke, and breakfast plays a leading role in setting the tone for your entire day, both metabolically and neurologically. In fact, a major study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that diets high in processed foods are directly correlated with a 30% increase in stroke risk for seniors. That's not a small number, that's a wake-up call, especially when you consider how easy it is to swap out these risk-laden meals for smarter, heart-healthy alternatives that nourish rather than harm. So what are these silent stroke triggers that keep showing up on breakfast tables across the world? And more importantly, what can you eat instead to protect your brain, energize your mornings, and regain control of your health? Let us dive into 5 of the most common culprits and why cutting them out now might just save your life later. 1. White toast with butter, the quiet saboteur. At first glance, white toast with butter seems innocent enough. It's quick, familiar, and has been a breakfast staple for generations, but beneath its simplicity lies a nutritional trap, especially for seniors. White bread is made from refined flour, which has been stripped of its fiber, vitamins, and minerals. What's left is a fast-digesting carbohydrate that behaves almost like sugar once it enters your bloodstream. As soon as you take a bite, your blood glucose levels begin to spike. That rapid increase forces your body to release insulin in high amounts, and over time, this repeated cycle wears out your blood vessels, causing inflammation and rigidity. Stiff arteries are a breeding ground for plaque buildup, fatty deposits that narrow the passageways your blood flows through. And when a piece of that plaque breaks off, it can travel to the brain, blocking circulation and causing a stroke. Then comes the butter. While butter made from grass-fed cows has some beneficial fats, the vast majority of commercial butters used on toast are packed with saturated fats. Saturated fat raises LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, which sticks to artery walls like glue. When combined with the sugar-like effect of white bread, this duo becomes a double threat to your vascular system. It's like setting up a time bomb inside your arteries, quietly ticking with each morning meal. What makes this combination even more dangerous is how normalized it has become. Because it doesn't look harmful, no bright red warning labels or chemical-sounding ingredients, it's easy to underestimate the damage. But damage isn't always loud or immediate. It's slow, silent, and cumulative. Day after day, slice after slice, the harm builds up until one morning your body says, "Enough," and a stroke strikes. The emotional toll of this risk cannot be overstated. Many older adults value their independence, the ability to walk unassisted, cook their own meals, or even drive to see loved ones. A stroke threatens all of that in an instant. And the worst part? It may have all started with something as simple as a couple of slices of toast and a swipe of butter. Habits that feel so harmless, they rarely raise red flags. But here is the good news. Switching this breakfast option for a healthier one is easier than you think. Instead of white toast, choose a slice of whole grain or sprouted bread. It has more fiber, digests more slowly, and helps keep your blood sugar steady. And instead of butter, try avocado spread or a drizzle of olive oil, both rich in heart-healthy fats that can actually protect your arteries rather than clog them. Start with small changes. Maybe swap out white toast 2 or 3 times a week to begin with. Try it with eggs, a dash of lemon, or even crushed walnuts for added benefits. It is not about giving up what you love. It is about upgrading your choices so they serve your health, not sabotage it. Because protecting your brain starts with protecting your breakfast. 2. Flavored yogurts. The sweet trap in disguise. You reach for a fruit-flavored yogurt thinking you're making a smart, light choice. After all, it says low-fat or healthy on the label. But for people over 60, that small creamy cup can carry a surprisingly high risk. Most flavored yogurts found in grocery stores are loaded with added sugars, sometimes more than a candy bar. And these added sugars are a major contributor to chronic inflammation in the body, especially within the vascular system. When you consume that much sugar early in the day, your blood glucose levels skyrocket, setting off a chain reaction of metabolic stress. The blood vessels that feed your brain become irritated and inflamed, losing their natural elasticity. Over time, this weakens the arterial walls, making them more prone to blockages or ruptures, the very conditions that cause strokes. The scariest part? This damage doesn't show symptoms until it's too late. But sugar isn't the only problem. Many flavored yogurts also contain artificial sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose. Though marketed as healthy because they don't contain calories, research shows that these additives can disrupt your gut microbiome and increase insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is a key player in stroke risk, especially in older adults whose bodies process sugars and fats less efficiently than they used to. This combination of high sugar, artificial additives, and low nutritional value turns flavored yogurt into a metabolic minefield. And yet, many seniors eat it daily, believing it's doing their body good. It's understandable. Marketing has convinced us for years that yogurt equals health. But the truth is, not all yogurts are created equal, and those colorful, fruit-flavored cups often contain more danger than benefit. If you're looking for a safer, smarter option, the solution is simple. Choose plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is higher in protein, lower in sugar, and rich in probiotics that support gut health, something that's crucial as we age. To add flavor without the risk, toss in fresh berries, a drizzle of raw honey, or a few chopped nuts. These additions provide antioxidants, fiber, and healthy fats that nourish your body rather than stress it. Another tip: read labels closely. If sugar or sweeteners are among the first ingredients, that yogurt is not your friend. Look for products with minimal ingredients, ideally just milk and live cultures. The fewer additives, the better. And if you're lactose intolerant or prefer non-dairy options, look for coconut or almond-based yogurts with no added sugars and fortified with calcium and vitamin D. Making this swap might seem small, but it can have a major impact over time. Remember, every breakfast is a chance to protect your brain. Flavored yogurt might look harmless, but when it comes to stroke prevention, it's a sweet-looking danger that's better left off your plate. 3. Store-bought muffins. The dessert disguised as breakfast. They look innocent enough, sitting behind the glass at your local cafe or wrapped neatly in plastic at the grocery store. Bran muffins, blueberry muffins, banana nut muffins, they sound hearty, even healthy. But don't be fooled. For seniors, store-bought muffins are one of the most misleading and dangerous breakfast options. They're often nothing more than oversized cupcakes without frosting, loaded with ingredients that silently chip away at your cardiovascular health. Most commercial muffins are made with refined white flour, which, like white bread, turns into sugar almost immediately after digestion. This leads to those same dangerous blood sugar spikes that damage arteries over time. But the real concern lies in the sugar content. Many store-bought muffins pack 30 to 40 grams of sugar or more in a single serving. That's more than what you'd find in a glazed donut. And unlike fruits or whole grains, there's no fiber to slow down absorption or protect your blood vessels. But it doesn't stop at sugar. Most muffins also contain hydrogenated oils, also known as trans fats, which are some of the most harmful substances you can put into your body. Trans fats are known to increase bad LDL cholesterol while decreasing good HDL cholesterol. This imbalance leads directly to plaque formation inside your arteries. Add that to the high sodium content commonly found in these pastries, and you've got a triple threat: sugar, salt, and bad fats. Exactly what the aging vascular system cannot afford. Seniors are particularly at risk because the body's ability to repair damaged blood vessels declines with age. What might have been a tolerable indulgence at 30 becomes a silent hazard at 65. Even if you don't feel the effects right away, the damage adds up over months and years until suddenly your blood pressure spikes, your cholesterol is out of control, or worse, a stroke occurs. And it all traces back to something as small and ordinary as a muffin. So how can you satisfy that craving without putting your health on the line? The good news is you don't have to give up baked goods altogether. You just need to choose smarter ingredients. Homemade muffins made with almond flour, oats, mashed banana, and a touch of honey or stevia are excellent alternatives. They're rich in fiber, low in sugar, and provide nutrients that actually support heart and brain health. Another smart swap? Bake a batch of mini muffins using ingredients like flaxseed, chopped nuts, or grated carrots. These add-ins bring healthy fats, antioxidants, and fiber into your morning without the blood sugar roller coaster. Plus, when you make them at home, you control exactly what goes in and what stays out. No hidden trans fats, no chemical preservatives, no surprises. Choosing to skip that store-bought muffin isn't about deprivation, it's about empowerment. With just a little planning, you can enjoy warm, satisfying breakfast treats that actually help you feel energized and protected. It's a small shift with massive long-term benefits, because when you know better, you eat better, and when you eat better, you live stronger. 4. Processed breakfast cereals, the healthy habit that isn't. Walk down any breakfast aisle in the supermarket, and you'll be overwhelmed by boxes claiming to be heart-healthy, whole grain, or fortified with vitamins. It's easy to assume that cereal is a safe and smart choice, especially when time is tight. But for seniors, most processed breakfast cereals are a hidden danger. Under the bright colors and health claims, many are loaded with sugars, refined starches, and sodium. 3 ingredients that quietly damage your vascular system with every bite. Let's start with sugar. Most cereals, even those marketed to adults, contain added sugars that quickly spike your blood glucose. These sudden spikes cause the walls of your arteries to expand and contract unnaturally, leading to microtears and inflammation. Over time, these vulnerable spots become breeding grounds for plaque buildup, making your arteries stiff and narrow, ideal conditions for a stroke to strike. And since many people eat these cereals daily, the damage is repeated over and over again. Next comes the refined grains. Processed cereals are often made with flours that have been stripped of their fiber and nutrients. Without fiber, your digestion speeds up, your blood sugar rises faster, and your insulin response becomes more aggressive. For aging bodies, especially those already at risk for diabetes or high cholesterol, this creates a perfect storm. You may think you're choosing something light and nutritious, but inside your body chaos is brewing. But there's more. Many cereals also contain hidden sodium. That might surprise you, especially if the cereal doesn't taste salty. But sodium is often added as a preservative or flavor enhancer, and too much sodium increases blood pressure, the #1 cause of stroke in seniors. Combine that with the sugar and refined grains, and you've got a breakfast that's quietly working against you every single day. Emotionally, it's frustrating. No one wants to feel betrayed by the foods they thought were safe. Many older adults have spent years following low-fat or whole-grain trends, believing they were doing the right thing. Realizing that these efforts may have caused harm is difficult, but also empowering, because now you can make better choices armed with truth, not marketing. What can you do instead? Swap those sugary cereals for old-fashioned oats or steel-cut oatmeal. They're packed with fiber, help stabilize blood sugar, and support healthy cholesterol levels. Add cinnamon, chopped nuts, or fresh fruit to enhance the flavor without sacrificing your health. If you miss the crunch of dry cereal, try air-roasted granola made at home with minimal sweeteners and heart-friendly oils like olive or coconut. Making this switch isn't just about avoiding risk, it's about building resilience. Each morning you choose a smarter breakfast. You're reinforcing your body's natural defenses, and over time those small choices build up into stronger arteries, better brain health, and a longer, more vibrant life. 5. Orange juice and store-bought fruit juices, the sweetest illusion. For decades, a glass of orange juice has symbolized the perfect start to a healthy morning. Bright, refreshing, and packed with vitamin C, or so we were told. But for seniors, that morning ritual could be silently sabotaging vascular health. The truth is, store-bought fruit juices, especially orange juice, are some of the most deceptive beverages in your fridge. And after the age of 60, the body is far less equipped to handle the sugar overload these drinks deliver. Let's break it down. Even a small glass of 100% orange juice contains about 20 to 25 grams of sugar. That's roughly the same as a can of soda. And because the juice lacks the fiber naturally found in whole fruits, that sugar enters your bloodstream fast and unfiltered, causing a sharp rise in blood glucose. These spikes, especially when repeated daily, lead to insulin resistance and damage the delicate inner lining of your arteries, making them brittle and vulnerable to clot formation. But the danger goes deeper. Unlike glucose, which most of your cells can use for energy, orange juice contains high amounts of fructose. Fructose is processed by the liver, and when consumed in excess, it gets converted into fat. This contributes to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and raises your triglyceride levels, one of the strongest predictors of atherosclerosis, or the hardening and narrowing of the arteries. And hardened arteries are a direct path to stroke. You might be thinking, but it's natural. And yes, fruit juice sounds a lot healthier than soda or energy drinks, but your body doesn't recognize the difference when it's bombarded with that much sugar at once. A 2019 study published in the British Medical Journal found that high consumption of fruit juices is associated with increased risk of cardiovascular disease, particularly in older adults. Even when the label says no added sugar, the natural sugars alone are more than enough to do damage. It's also important to consider how juice habits fit into your overall breakfast. Many people pair their juice with toast, cereal, or baked goods, creating a triple load of sugar and refined carbs all in one sitting. This compounds the effect and increases vascular stress just when your body is waking up and trying to find its balance. It is like starting your day with a sugar tsunami when what you really need is gentle nourishment and stability. But there's a better way. Instead of drinking juice, eat the whole fruit. Eat. An orange, for example, contains fiber that slows down sugar absorption, along with a broader spectrum of nutrients. You can also opt for infused water with citrus slices or herbal teas rich in antioxidants. These alternatives hydrate the body, support healthy circulation, and keep blood pressure in check without triggering harmful insulin responses or raising triglycerides. Once again, the shift is simple but powerful. Swapping a glass of juice for a piece of fruit can protect your arteries, lower your stroke risk, and help regulate your energy throughout the day. It may seem like a small change, but for someone over 60, it could be the difference between silent damage and vibrant health. So next time you reach for that bottle of juice, take a moment and ask, is it really worth the risk? Your breakfast choices may seem small, but they hold enormous power, especially after age 60. The 5 common foods we've exposed today may be convenient, familiar, or even comforting, but they carry silent risks that build up over time. Stroke doesn't just strike without warning. It often follows a trail of chronic inflammation, high blood pressure, and artery damage that could have been prevented with smarter decisions. The good news: every morning is a new opportunity to protect your brain, your independence, and your future. By eliminating these harmful breakfast habits and replacing them with protective foods like fresh fruit, fiber-rich grains, heart-healthy fats, and antioxidant-rich ingredients, you're not just avoiding disease, you're building resilience. The road to better health doesn't require perfection. It begins with small, consistent changes, and those changes begin right at your breakfast table. If you found this video helpful, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and share it with friends or family members who might be unknowingly at risk. Your actions could help someone avoid a life-altering stroke. Together, we can build a healthier, more informed community, one smart breakfast at a time.